And welcome back. Welcome everyone. Welcome to the continuation of DreamHack Masters Atlanta 2022 North American Closed Qualifier. I am your duckling for the day, Quack. I'm joined by my lovely plushies alongside me and my beautiful duck. And my beautiful duck that is being covered by the green screen. I swear it's there, I swear. It's not as part of the WTL logo. And we have our next series, as you can see here on the screen. It is a qualifying match. It is going to be PattyMac versus Binski. Oh my. A PvT for the ages. What is terrifying is that there is no lower bracket. There is no second chance. This is it. It all comes down to this final best of series. And if you're in the chat, place your bets. Predictions are now open. Who makes it through to DreamHack North America and who gets knocked out and will have to try again next year, if there even is a next year. Oh boy, here we go, because spawning in the top right hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the American Protoss player himself representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the American Terran player representing Team License to Kill, LTK. It is Binski, aka Spaghetti, aka Bin. Let us go. So this is a very, very terrifying match. PattyMac, I don't mind saying this, he's a little bit stressed. He's a little bit stressed out. He feels like he threw the series against Nina, and in some respects he was ahead and then fell behind. In some respects, you know, he was ahead and then had some poor responses to situations, or again, just very haphazard responses. And there is a world out there where he could have taken that series in a cleaner fashion than just a 3-2 as well. Like, PattyMac was looking really good against Nina. But alas, it's one of those things where you can't dwell on that too much. You know, you can't let that impede your ability to continue to compete and approach your next series and approach your next opponent. That's the thing, because Binski is no pushover. He may be a little bit more of a ladder hero, but I think last season he proved himself to be one of the best in North America. We were lucky enough to cast Binski's run, myself and Kuro. Last season, his ID online was Spaghetti. That's why we called him that. But last season, yeah, he was able to make it all the way into that main event, and he may have not had too much success there. Regardless, he proved himself to be up there amongst the best in the region. So again, even though he may not have the most accolades, even though he may not be the most accomplished player, even though he may be a little bit more niche in the American scene, he's still a force to be reckoned with. He still is a player to be taken seriously. So yeah, like, he isn't a pushover is what I'm trying to say. I mean, hey, he took down Epic, you know, he 2-1'd Epic and knocked him out of the tournament. So yeah, this is a little bit of a scary moment, as we did see a Rax expand from the side of Binski. So not really too much of an aggressive style, a little bit more economic, is going for that bunker on the low ground. It will finish up in time to protect the Marine, to protect this building SCV, and PattyMac is a little bit late to the party. Is here behind the mineral line, but doesn't get here in time to delay the natural, and he is gonna be able to force some lost mining time. That is it for the time being. Just a little bit annoying on the low ground. Meanwhile, ooh, PattyMac did open up with a Twilight Council, not a Stargate, so is looking to go into Blink. There we go, Blink is on the way. And from the side of Binski, back in the main base, he is setting up for a bit of a Widow Mine drop. Widow Mines are on the way. And again, this is where I'm a little bit worried here. So PattyMac, after that loss against Nina, I was talking about how, it's one of those things where you have to be able to brush things off. If you are a competitor, you have to be able to, this is where experience comes in. You have to be able to take your losses and reset your mental and get into the next game in as good a position as you can, because the tournament continues, your competition continues. You can't get hung up on that sort of stuff, and I know that PattyMac is having a little bit of a hard time doing that. So hopefully he can reset and recover, because if he isn't paying attention and if he isn't looking at his minimap specifically, these Widow Mines could end the game. Like, we have seen, like, yo, 1 or 2 stray Widowmine shots go off and 14 plus probes die. And that can be game-ending damage. Like, that can be devastating. You can come back from that sort of stuff, definitely, but you don't want to be forced in that position, as the first medevac is going out across the map. We do have an observer, and it looks like the pathing for PattyMac is going to catch this. Ooh. Very, very lucky scout here. There we go. PattyMac does notice. He does see that drop coming. So this is very greedy from Binski. Vindicta never does this. Vindicta, for example, he always paths his medevac across the edge of the map to make sure he avoids the scout. Meanwhile, here we go. The Stalkers are already in position. The medevac goes down just like that. We have 3 Widowmine shots going off. 1 on the Stalkers. Ooh, 2 on these probes, and not bad. 6 probes go down. It is going to be at the cost of all 3 of these Widowmines and the medevac. But this is a trade that I'm sure Binski is content with. It could have been worse for Binski. PattyMac had a bit of a haphazard reaction to that, and he wasn't able to efficiently spread out his probes. Oof. But again, that was just really greedy from Binski. You know, again, there are other Terran players that they never go through the middle of the map. It is faster, sure, but it is also riskier, and if your opponent is good enough, they will punish that. As the drop goes down, we do see PattyMac getting ready for a blink into the main base. There are Marines waiting for him, but there is no stim. Oh, as we do see the Raven moving out here, it looks like the Raven is in position in time to deal with that observer, so PattyMac has to rotate over towards the natural instead, where there is a tank and a bunker waiting for him. So Binski has a pretty solid defense for Blink Stalkers, even rushing out +1 attack already. Oh my. Meanwhile, PattyMac is going to try and test the waters here. Oh, but there is a tank, so he's going to have to blink backwards. There is no way in. Just going to try and contain his opponent and catch anything that moves out. Unfortunately, he misses the Raven, as the Raven is moving towards that third. Meanwhile, PattyMac has done this in the past. PattyMac, his AoE of choice is Storm. Storm is on the way. We have a couple of High Templar here gathering that energy, and the Raven dips in and dips out. He opts not to commit here. He doesn't go for the auto turret. Interesting choice. He could have been a little bit greedier and thrown down the turret and maybe even targeted down some of those High Templar. It's one of those things that because we don't have disruptors, or sorry, because we don't have Colossi, saving energy for disables isn't as effective here against PattyMac, as we have so many Marines. Jesus Christ. Yeah, a little bit of an interesting opener here. We did have a delay on stim, a pretty big delay, but the racks stayed on this reactor, so the Marine count for Binski is insanely high. Meanwhile, we already have Marauder production commencing. Stim and combat shields on the way. +1 is done. +1 armor is on the way for Binski as well. He isn't going to be going for a big 2-base push. I mean, he's going to hit a timing, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he wants to utilize this timing, as we do have a little bit of storm. Oh my god, the storm drops! Whoa, Jesus Christ. The SCVs, they all stacked up for that. I was not expecting this, to be honest. Myself getting caught off guard as 28 SCVs go down. At the same time, we do have a little bit of auto turret harass across the map, but they do end up targeting the shield battery, and the probes survive. Oof. The probe pool is on point. Every single worker will survive. There's not enough energy. There we go. One more auto turret gets thrown down here at the natural. There is a little bit of counter damage, but PattyMac is pushing in. He has so many charge offs. He still has so many storms available. And that Prism isn't done. We have a Warping of Zealots into the main base as well. We even have a High Templar slowly gathering that energy, and Binski is being pulled apart. He doesn't have enough to defend the front line. The tank is going to fall. The stutter stepping is pretty good, don't get me wrong, but the storms are even better. Binski has to give up on his third. Meanwhile, PattyMac did leave his War Prism a little bit idle, so the Prism did go down in the end, but it more than paid for itself. Binski is down to 35 probes. Meanwhile, across the map, a little bit of Widowmine harass. It looks like one Widowmine shot is going to go off, but only on 2 of these workers. At the same time, another Widowmine in the main base. So, again, PattyMac is going to be able to respond in time. And I don't know if Binski can ever take this third. PattyMac is just waiting for that moment. He has so much energy on these High Templar. 4 High Templar almost like topped up. Binski recognizes this and he's going to be going for a drop. But oh, the Zealot, I think barely did not catch a glimpse of that. PattyMac does have control of the Xel'Naga, so he does have a couple of spotted pylons, so Binski has to be careful with his pathing. Meanwhile, the auto turret harass continues. Not quite able to deal too much damage. It looks like PattyMac from here is going to back off. I do appreciate it. Sending another Zealot here towards the left-hand side. Unfortunately, despite all of this, map vision and map presence, he did miss that drop. A couple more Zealots going towards the right-hand side. The main army rotating back towards his own third. We do have that triple drop headed in. Meanwhile, as all this is happening, PattyMac is expanding, is taking his fourth base. We do have a little bit of scan to make sure there is no observer. We do have Colossi on the way, Robotic Spay already done, Extended Thermal Lance being researched. And this triple drop could be huge. The main base is honestly looking pretty exposed right now. We do have a recall available, but not enough energy in the main. And PattyMac is a little bit out of position. Binski goes for the drop. PattyMac forced to turn around, and what's scary is that at the same time, Binski is headed towards that third base. Oh, we do see a recall. Okay, PattyMac is splitting up his army. He does have a storm available. Meanwhile, the main base is going to go down. At the same time, here we go. The army sims on forward. Oh, takes a storm to the face. But still worth it though for Binski. He keeps the majority of his army alive, and he's able to kill 11 probes alongside that Nexus. And he barely lost anything. What, 3 or 4 units died. So this may force a reaction from PattyMac. We already see him pushing out onto the map, just maintaining map control at the same time. Massive Zealot run by, but he runs into a minefield. Ooh. So many Widow Mines going off here. And with the death of those Zealots, I don't think PattyMac can push in. He's going to be forced back. And once again, Binski goes back into the drop, back into the main base. Recall is on cooldown. PattyMac has to go the long way around. Being punished for his army position. There we go. Forced to cancel. At least it wasn't a kill. Oh, as more of his production is being depowered. Oh, see the blink on forward does take down a full medevac. Not bad. And I think PattyMac is going to be forced to slow things down. Binski doing a great job at getting back into this game, at building up his workers. And now being ahead in the economy. PattyMac, meanwhile, is heavily supply blocked, is going to slowly have to re-expand, retake his main base. Finally, he is going to be patrolling these stalkers in his main. He didn't want to. I'm sure he didn't want to at all, but he's forced to. Meanwhile, this scouting zealot will come across the drop. Also, massive shout out to Binski and his self-restraint, not using that all-army hotkey. The Raven here at the third base has been chilling the entire time. Interesting that PattyMac actually doesn't retake his main. He's going for a fifth base instead. Ooh, as the entire army is rotating over. It looks like PattyMac will clean up this drop. Not a bad catch. But again, despite losing 28 SCVs earlier, Binski is now back in this economically. He's working on his fourth base, working on his ghosts. Has a great defensive position here with his mines, with his bunkers. We have a little bit of DT harass, but again, it is being cleaned up as well. Not really able to get PattyMac back in this game. But what PattyMac lacks in economy, he makes up for in army. Not the largest army, but a very high quality army. We have Colossus, Storm, and Disruptors. Every form of slash damage. It's crazy. And the DTs are coming back in. We don't have a tower. We don't have a missile turret. So the DTs are going to be able to force a reaction. They are going to get some SCV kills. Oh, another scan in towards that third base. DT waddling into the main. Already getting one SCV kill. Going to get a second. Oh, and this is again just buying PattyMac some time. Let's scan in towards the natural. Forcing scans, 7 SCVs go down, keeping Binski in check. And that disruptor count is getting a little bit out of hand. I think the thing that I'm most concerned with right now is that I don't think Binski has been able to scout this. His macro has been crazy. He is maxed, by the way. He has a terrifying army, but he doesn't have any Liberators. He has a lot of Vikings, arguably too many Vikings. There's only 2 Colossi, not 3, so... it's going to be difficult to really deal with all these disruptors. The first storm going to be able to zone away the army. PattyMac having time to rebuild, getting more Colossus. Ooh, the EMPs are solid though. They do connect with the High Templar, forcing Archons. But we still have the Novas. Oh. Meanwhile, here we go. A Storm again connecting with that army. Another Nova does connect with the Bio. The third Nova going off the fourth as well. And Binski, the splits are just not there. His army crumbles in the face of these disruptors. We have a massive warp in of 11 Zealots. And PattyMac will not be slowed down. He is going to be able to target down the majority of this army. There's still plenty of disruptors that came from the reinforcing Zealots are coming in. Widow Mines are doing what they can, but ooh. It is not going to be enough. Again, Binski had a really impressive army, but not the ideal army. He never scouted the disruptors. He never scanned the army. We saw how many Vikings he had. He assumed that it was just going to be Colossus and Storm. The disruptors really came out of left field. And now he is transitioning into Liberators. He is working on a fusion core, but this is all late. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, PattyMac being so annoying here, sending in another couple of stray DTs. More disruptors coming out here to zone. Arguably exposed disruptors, not gonna lie. As the Widow Mines do get picked off. Meanwhile, another DT at the natural. Just being so annoying. Binski is taking a fourth base though, and again, economically, he's still not in a bad position. He just needs time to rebuild. He is far behind in the supply. In the soup. The first wave of Liberators are coming out. PattyMac slowly laying siege upon this third. Oh, solid EMP on these disruptors, and the tank is doing a lot of damage. Surprisingly, like, what is that? 4 or 5 volleys on the army. So PattyMac, his army is quite softened up as he rotates back over here. Trying to catch Binski off guard. We'll get a depot. And here we go. He blinks on forward. He's going to be able to target out 1, 2 of these Liberators. But there's more where that came from. PattyMac having a real hard time breaking this position. Oh god! The Novas! Oh! The Novas this time connecting with the Ghosts. Again, he still can't break this because of the Liberators, but there's only so much Liberators can do. Finally, the tank on the high ground goes down. Ah! The Nova's going off once again on the army, on the workers. And Binski's overextending. No, he loses all of his ghosts and GG gets called. PattyMac will take the first game. Oof. GG. Honestly, quite close. PattyMac was able to do so much with his storm drops, but Binski with the unscouted triple drop into the main was insane. Oh. Meanwhile, it looks like... Oh, did Dolan versus Uko finish? Do I refresh the bracket? Oh god. I'm a little bit scared. Okay. Letting them know the score. It looks like both Dolan and Dave have finished up their own series. And quickly checking here, Dolan versus Uko hasn't been updated on the bracket. Oh boy. Just trying to catch up here, and I'm a little bit afraid. Oh god, the ESL bracket hasn't been updated. I'm going into Liquipedia. It looks like Uko did take the series and Dolan has been eliminated. He was so close, oh so close. And I hope Dolan isn't feeling too bad. He did make it all the way to 2 qualifying matches. Very impressive. But it looks like Dolan's run has ended. Meanwhile, some more confirmation here. Reaper did take down Asuna 3-2. Reaper has qualified. Creature versus Riser still ongoing. BioEye still waiting for that series. Oh. So very few games going on. And speaking of few games, we got... God damn it. Pig! This is a qualifying match. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Waterfall, we have the CranKy Duckling himself, the American Protoss. It is PattyMac. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Waterfall, we have the American Terran. He is red, representing Team License to Kill LTK. It is Binski. I mean, shout out to Pig. I think this is the first time he's casting a DreamHack qualifier. It's not something that he usually does. He typically doesn't cast online tournaments other than ESL Americas. So maybe a little bit new to this format. Welcome, Pig, welcome. I hope he has enjoyed his time here so far. And it's also really cool to see him cover this, because the reality is that Pig and Wardy, whenever he does cast as well, they do have access to a much larger viewer base, and they are able to expose players to their viewers. Again, it's a bit of a shame that Dolan didn't make it against Uko, a bit of a feels bad man, but I'm happy to say that, hey, PattyMac is getting even more exposure, and he deserves it. He does deserve it. Oh, so hopefully he's able to make a really nice impression upon the viewers of Pig and Dave Tesla, as all three casters are in this series. Oh boy. Again, mate, they know what to cast. They know who to follow. It's all about the Patty. It's all about the duck. As PattyMac is opening up here with a 2-gate opener. Interesting. This is not normal at all. You know what I'm getting? I'm getting WTL versus Battle B vibes here, as two adepts are going to be going across the map. Oh my god, and this is going to be a little bit ideal. For those who were not watching World Team League, as we have a bunker behind the mineral line here. This is scouted by PattyMac, by the way. But for those who were not watching, PattyMac was able to take down the European German player in Battle B by opening up double adepts, going across the map, and wreaking havoc, forcing a delay on the CC, forcing a cancel on this CC with his 4 adepts. And that is why he's going across the map. He is not really concerned with this Reaper, but maybe he should be, because he will be losing some workers. Oof. Boys are being forced off the line here. How good is the micro for PattyMac? He does end up losing one of his probes. Oh my god, but the Reaper gets surrounded. We'll use the KDA charge to break free, though. So that was almost worst case scenario, but a follow-up adept is going to be able to shake this away. At the same time, across the map, the adepts do rock up. They are a little bit too late, though. They were distracted earlier, and they did not get here in time to delay that CC. So far, a great reaction from Binski. This could have been a lot worse. Meanwhile, the Reaper is still alive, does get another probe kill, is barely going to be able to escape and get into this bunker. Across the map, these adepts are trying to break into the main, but with the help of this eventual Marines and eventual Cyclone, PattyMac shouldn't be able to break in. Oh, and without a shield battery, PattyMac's going to have a hard time breaking this bunker as well. This is not going well for PattyMac at all. He is going to get some economic damage across the map. There we go. 2 SCVs are going to go down. And so will this Devo, actually. Oh my god. I spoke too soon, though, because with the help of the Reaper, I mean Cyclone. Yeah, the adepts are going to be cleaned up. Oof. There we go. Meanwhile, across the map, oh god, can he get the SCV? He will barely get that SCV in the end. PattyMac will shut down this bunker, will resume mining. Hopefully he doesn't lose a probe. Oh! Oof. And it looks like he will not. Oh, Binski being very ambitious with this Cyclone. I think he may lose it. Uh-oh, it's going to be close. So the adepts are going to complete their shade. They're going to get a couple of volleys off here. Oh. Okay, with the help of that lock-on, the Cyclone will escape. Or will it? Uh-oh. Up! The Cyclone barely manages to survive, does rush out across the map. We have a second Cyclone as well, so Binski will be able to hold on to his natural. And after all said and done, I do want to give Binski the edge here. We are equal in probes. We already have a third CC on the way. The opener of PattyMac was designed to be aggressive and was designed to slow down the economy, but he wasn't able to do it. He wasn't able to delay that CC. Meanwhile, we are following things up with the 2-base all-in. We have 2 gates, we have 4 gates. We have Blink. 4-gate Blink Stalker. Let's go. Meanwhile, no shield battery here. Another probe is going to go down. This Reaper has been so annoying for PattyMac to deal with. Oh god, and another worker is going down as well. But does PattyMac care? Oh god, he should, because we is that much weaker now as a result. We have a tank on the low ground. We have a tank on the high ground. We don't have that many Marines, to be fair. I think PattyMac has recognized that. He is going to blink into the main base. Cyclone goes down, and he will get the tank. Despite the fact that he has been slowed down, Binski has maybe been a little bit too greedy. A little bit too greedy indeed. Oh my god, he can deny Stim! Oh, goes for the reactor instead, but there we go. He is going to be focusing down that tech lab. Stim will not complete. Neither will combat shields, and neither will there be a tank. PattyMac, he has control of the main. Oh my god, here we go. He blinks on forward. The final tank is going to fall. What units do we have left for Binski? He has 1 Marauder. He has 6 Marines and 0 Marauders. And despite the fact that PattyMac has lost so many workers across the map, Binski was just too greedy. Should have recognized the production, recognized the power of this 4-gate Blink Stalker. Binski is now behind in the workers. PattyMac has dealt enough damage to expand to transition. 3rd Nexus is on the way. And PattyMac can keep going. There's still no tank, by the way. There we go. He blinks back in. There's nothing slowing him down. Oh god, the target fire is real. He takes down the Marauder once again. GG gets called, and PattyMac takes game number 2 and is 1 game away from qualifying. Wow, GG. Oh my god. GG. Congratulations, PattyMac again. He does take a 2-0 lead. He does need 1 more game to take the best of 5 to make it all the way to DreamHack North America. Oh. No! Come on, man.